ba bow. Ba ba bow. Testing, testing. Bow. Ba ba bow. Ba ba bow. Testing, testing. All right. Ba ba bow. Testing, testing. Let's do this. All right. So this is my MPC Beta testing uh, live stream thing. Um, let's begin. So, to begin, this is the basic MPC2 software. Not much to look at. Kind of looks rather generic. And this is the MPC hardware with pretty much the same identical looking interface. There's not really much um, to write home about. Plain, boring Android looking graphics. The workflow in this is MPC2, by the way. MPC3 is in beta test for standalone only right now, so this is going to be irrelevant in a minute. But that's pretty much how this works right now. This is just the standard. This is just how the MPC looks without the beta. And it's not really much to look at. It's a lot there. It's okay. It's fine. But, yeah. So the way this would work is you would say you want to go into your plugin. There's a little field right here that shows you your plugins and stuff. And you just kind of play in your stuff. Is it coming through? I don't know if it is. Hold on. I think it is. It is. Hold on. I think it is. Okay, yeah. Then you'd go into your grid and you'd record something. Pretty basic. You go to your next track, select some drums, something like that. Like go to your browser, pick your drums. Just roll with that. Pretty basic stuff. That's just kind of like the generic. This is like the basic workflow for the MPC. You would go in, you can copy the sequence to the next one. Do the same thing, but maybe like edit something. This gobbledygook. It's just random. You go into song mode, and then you would just insert those two patterns, those two sequences. You can arrange their, you can set up their repeats and all that. You know. So that's just basically how the old MPC works. Um, if you notice, if you look into the piano roll here, I'm going to bring this up at a different point here. Uh, Everything on the side is just this dull ass gray. Just looks like shit. Who cares, right? You know, all your notes are kind of just, there's the there's no real like actual arranger. But the MPC3 does offer the arranger, which is pretty cool. Uh, um, some other things. The mixer is sort of just it's just like, you scroll through, you get your different mixes. You get your MIDI tracks, audio tracks, programs, which then you can like route to your submixes and other fun stuff like that. Returns, main, outputs. But it's kind of just still more dull gray and red Ohio State colors. Um, Nothing to sneeze at. Uh, Boring. Like the beginning of this video, most of this video probably, if you're listening to me, you're like, what the fuck is this motherfucker going on about? But, so that's just what this thing is. Dulcet gray tones. Like the music that I make. The menu is kind of very hodgepodgey. Um, Not really much you can do by way of like rearranging things. There is a way to do it, but like it's uh, just, I don't know, not very intuitive. uh, what else? Audio tracks. There's this weird divide right here where you have MIDI. You have like a MIDI page which controls all this, and then you have your audio page, which then controls all of your um, like actual like recording stuff. This is what you would record right into. Um, and this is basically this is what you're dealing with when you're recording audio. This is basically where everything comes into. And it can play as part of the song. If I was to record something in here and then play the beat, it would work the same way. The arrangement part of this is kind of lackluster because, again, you have to deal with tracks. So it's like if you wanted to do another goddamn drain. If you want to do anything with audio recording, get multiple tracks and stuff, you have to basically add more audio tracks. I think it can only handle like 8. I'm not sure how it works in MPC3. If it only handles 8, but yeah, it's kind of lame. Back to the programs. These drum pads can each hold up to 4 samples. So I can add like another kick to this or another version of the kick. Or I can even add, what's this? A hat. Right. I can add whatever I want to this, up to 4 of them. And I can go into global, I can hit random. And it plays those pads. Another one here. Just go. All sorts of nice little variations with that. So this is a limitation with MPC2. Just for sounds per pad. Of course, you get up to 4 banks. These are your banks. Or you get up to 8 banks, my bad. 8 banks of sounds that you can add to this program. It's kind of just like, it's those are that's it works with a lot of different. You can use a lot of different samples and things with these programs. But with MPC2, they're limited to 4 per pad. What else? Track mutes or pad mutes and all that stuff are basically like, this is what they look like here. It's just, this is basically what the whole MPC looks like. An MPC2. Yeah, man. This is the beta. This is the new MPC3 beta. Just dropped yesterday for the public. All the other YouTubers that have money and push have had this for a while, and little schmoes like myself are just now getting on it. So, yeah. But this is MPC2. And actually, I'm just going to jump right into MPC3. Because, let's get to the good shit. Okay. Standalone. Nice fancy little hourglass. Now this is pretty neat. I like the way this looks. Check out how my keyboard and my MPC, the pads are doing this nice little wave with the colors. That is sick. And I believe the color palette has expanded. There was like 12 colors that you can pick for each pad, but now you can do more. Somewhere in here. This is definitely a whole lot more like involved. This is your main screen. When you press buttons, you see the actual wave. Pretty cool stuff. But this is where things get a little bit interesting here. I'll record a little something. Arrangement mode. Now, I don't know all the ins and outs of this, so there's a lot here that's unfamiliar to me, but this is what that looks like. And then you want to go to your arrange mode, and now you have your track. That's my drum track right there. And I'm not exactly sure on how to edit some of the stuff, which I have to get it more involved, but this is what it looks like. MPC stands for Music Production Center. I think it originally meant something like music, something computer, music production computer. I don't know, something like that. But that's pretty much what that is. And so this is kind of in a way like a Ableton Live sort of machine. If you're talking about like clip launching, uh, question is, I never used an MPC. I've got Korg vocal drum thing. Can this be used like the Ableton Live machine where it can trigger even inside of a dot too? And yeah, it's um, there's there's a clips thing where like you can, and I should have shown that in MPC 2 where you can assign loops to each of these pads and make it synchronized by bar. Um, and I know that's in here too, but I haven't really figured that out yet either. I like just got this yesterday, installed it last night, and so now I'm like just now getting into it with you guys. Like this is about as deep as I've gotten. Um, but like you can do the same thing with the drum tracks, which I think if I let's see if I um, bounce the sample. No audio tail. So here's my beat that I just made. So if I take this and put it into my kit, I can switch out this kick for that loop, and I think it'll play the loop in here too. Um, but there's Eclipse. There's another. There's these things are called programs. Each of these kits that are in here is called a program. Uh, and there's a separate thing, like I said, it's called Clips, and that does that function. Hope I explained it all right. Um, but that's what this looks like. That's what this main screen looks like. Then you have what's cool about this is in MPC 2, you couldn't do this. You could not scroll through to your submixes in your returns and um, outputs. But you can do that directly right into or right from the main screen. And you can also do arrangements with your submixes as far as like automations are concerned. Um, you can't do that with uh, MPC 2. Another thing that's really cool uh, about this over MPC 2 is you can. There's a limitation with the XY effects and there's and automations. Um, so I'm gonna take this thing. I'm going to route it to. Um, First of all, I gotta figure out where the where is it? Bear with me because I'm still learning this. IO. There we go. Yes, it's IO. Audio out. I'm gonna send it to submix one, which you couldn't do with MPC two. Was record your automations with the Q links. What you have right, you can't see it right yet. Let me turn this light on. There's four knobs on here, that control Q links and things. And there's also a knob here that controls. That's just your jog wheel. Um, you can load your drums and stuff. Now you can do like XY stuff with the submix in MPC2, but you can't record it in MPC2. Now MPC3 though, you can. You hit this little button, and that's your read write automation. And what that does is allows you to record that automation. And you can do that on your master as well, which is slick as fuck. So if I want to do a different, say, let's try, we need a delay. Let's go with the delay. You can't do that with MPC2. Like, you can't automate the master XY effects with the automations and so, or you can't automate it, with MPC2. This one though you can. MPC3 opens up so much more possibilities. I can go into my submix and add a plugin effect. Let's add a gate, filter gate. I'm I can edit that stuff too. The thing about MPC2 was that you could only do the XY effects automation in programs. That was pretty much about it. In the main mixer, the programs and clips and stuff like that, you can only do automations there. But now, like I said, you can automate your submixes in your master. Go to your mixer. Now this is what the mixer looks like. Before, you had the squares. Everything was squares, and it had lines, and it had this thing on the side. This little box kind of thing on the side. And you notice how the bars are different too. It shows so much more information. You have control over your sends and stuff over here. When you go to your mixer though, now you just scroll and you got your actual kit over here, or your program over here, and then you have your submix that you can control over here. Which are also automatable. Sample edit's pretty much the same. The program edit is kind of about the same, but I did mention that there was a difference with the samples. There's 8 layers now. 8 motherfucking layers. I can add 8 different things to this one button, the one that's highlighted, just the one that I have activated right now, and I can just go through and add like a shit ton of different sounds. I can add like 8 of them, but I'm doing 5 right now. And this is what happens. Wait. Okay, well, I guess I get no sound then. What happened to my sound? Oh, I know what happened to my sound. I turned it down. Stupid me. Erase all of my automations. We're just gonna do okay, that's annoying. Stop. But you get the idea. Um, it's pretty much how MPC3 is now, or how the new version is. There's some other stuff with the menu here. I believe you can drag stuff over to your bar here, which is, it's just docked right here. But like the things that you actually want to go to. So if I use if I don't want to use sounds, which is in this little corner, I want to use the step sequencer. I can just drag it right over and replace it, and it'll take me right to my step sequencer, which is also a neat, fun little way to edit your loops and things. What else? What else? Um, there is a thing about, like I did mention, the Q links. Once again, that's something that's these things right here. In MPC2, when you were in a let's see, in MPC2, when you were, say, in a synth, um, your Q links would be assigned to like rows of buttons, and it still is by default. So if you click, if you click this Q link button, you see this little blinking light that's moving. That selects one of 4 Q link knobs, and when I turn that knob, and I know you probably can't see it on the screen, it changes these little parameters around. Um, and it would be like page by page basis, so like if you went to this next page, set to like the Q links to 1, the first Q link would change this parameter that's, doing it would, and likewise or whatever, that's cool. But like with MPC3, now you can actually set these Q links to be whatever. So if like in the synth, if I wanted to change the shape of the LFO, but I wanted to do it outside of this synth page, I would be able to do that out here. Of course, I don't know how that's done yet, because right now all these Q links are controlling our things involving playback. If I got into my Q link settings, which is right here, there's all kinds of different like things that you can assign the Q links to, and that's something I had to get more involved with. So yeah, that's basically kind of a roundabout tour of the MPC and MPC3. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching. Bye.